the highly anticipated sequel to the iconic Warhammer 40,000 Hours, Space Marine, set in the brutal and dark Warhammer 40k universe. Players will once again take on the role of Captain Titus, a Space Marine of the Ultramarines chapter. The game promises intense and bloody battles against numerous enemies, with an epic story where you face the threat of the Tyranids.
Stand aside.
The relay is ahead, through the arch.
Island of Winds is a fantasy adventure game inspired by Icelandic folklore. Players will explore beautiful and mystical islands inhabited by mythical creatures and magical phenomena. The protagonist must uncover ancient secrets and overcome various challenges to achieve their goals. The game combines elements of exploration, puzzles, and interaction with the environment.
Við önnumst milligöngu hins sýnilega og ósýnilega. Við höldum skugguna í skefjum.
The Altars is a new project from 11-Bit Studios, the creators of This War of Mine. In this sci-fi game, players control the main character, who creates alternate versions of himself, called Altars, to help him navigate life's challenges and critical situations. The game explores themes of identity, choice, and consequence, showing how different versions of the same person can make varying decisions and have unique traits.
Turns into a desperate fight for his life. Jan will need to handle a large mobile base that's designed to be operated by an entire team of qualified personnel. Even worse, the planet Jan landed on revolves around the deadly scorching star. Escaping the sunrise is crucial for survival. Despite his best efforts, Jan simply lacks the time and skills to deal with all these problems on his own. But the planet Jan is stranded on is home to a mysterious substance called Rapidium. With its use and the help of the quantum computer on board, Jan is able to create alternative versions of himself. The Altars. Each one of them is a result of altering a crucial decision from Jan's past.
The Sinking City 2 is the sequel to the dark, adventure detective game with horror elements, set in a city overwhelmed by floods and unexplained phenomena. Players will once again take on the role of the detective, investigating strange events with roots deep in Lovecraftian mythology. Still Wakes the Deep is a survival horror game developed by the Chinese Room. Set on an isolated oil rig in the North Sea, the game centers on a worker who must survive after a terrifying catastrophe strikes. players will face strange and frightening events, combining elements of psychological horror and action as they try to escape the deadly trap. Star Wars Outlaws is the first open-world game set in the Star Wars universe, being developed by Ubisoft. The game takes place between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Players assume the role of Kay Vess, a young criminal trying to survive in a world full of danger, intrigue, and conflict. The game will feature space battles, missions linked to criminal organizations, and exploration of various planets.
Buy your freedom.
This job, it's a death wish. I'm in.
Out here, you live and die by your reputation. You want to survive? Know the players.
You're new to this world.
What's your problem?
Come back when you're not.
Jabba, right? Look, don't try anything. I got a whole crew surrounding the... Okay, we're skipping that part. For about as long as I can remember, it's just been me and Nix. Doing what we have to survive. This job is my one shot at freedom. But if we're gonna pull this off, we need the right crew. And the right ship.
Judas is a new project by Ken Levine, the creator of the iconic BioShock series. This first-person shooter focuses on deep narrative, placing players in a broken world filled with moral dilemmas and difficult choices. The main character will have to make decisions that impact the story and the fates of other characters, with the game emphasizing dark atmospheres, unique character abilities, and complex plots typical of Levine's work.
People say I have this coming. And you know what? They're right.
The Relic, the First Guardian, is an action RPG with Souls-like elements developed by Project Cloud Games. Set in the dark fantasy world of Arsiltis, the game follows the last Guardian, tasked with collecting the fragments of a destroyed relic to close the void and save the world from final destruction. Lost Soul Aside is an action RPG developed by Chinese studio Ulti-Zero Games and is part of Sony's China Hero project. Originally started as an ambitious solo project, the game has evolved into a major title thanks to Sony's support. Lost Soul Aside combines elements from games like Final Fantasy and Devil May Cry, offering exhilarating combat, beautiful graphics, and a well-designed world. The First Descendant is a cooperative looter shooter from a third-person perspective, developed by Korean studio Nexon Games. Set in a science fiction world, players take on the role of descendants, people with special abilities who fight against alien invaders known as Colossi. The game offers dynamic combat similar to titles like Destiny 2 and Outriders, featuring a large roster of characters with unique abilities and playstyles. Unknown 9. Awakening is an upcoming action-adventure game from Reflector Entertainment. The game tells the story of Haruna, a woman with the unique ability to access a mysterious dimension called the Fold, which intersects with our world. Haruna embarks on a journey to uncover the secrets of this dimension and harness its power to prevent a potential catastrophe.
In my experience, the greatest harm often comes from the best intentions.
The cycle is starting again. How many more times must we endure the vanity of the Nine?
When there isn't a path to be found, make one.
You've been here before, countless times, and so shall you be here again. In fact,
Marvel 1943. Rise of Hydra is an upcoming adventure game from Skydance New Media and Marvel set during World War II. The game features 4 main characters, a young Steve Rogers, Azuri, Gabriel Jones, and Nanel. These characters must unite to fight Hydra and prevent a global catastrophe.
By my count, that makes 2 super soldiers loose in Paris.
3, counting you.
And that's 2 too many.
I'll be there before the sun rises. Before the Germans, before that American. The Eye of Force has been found.
Please, just stick to the rooftops. Be careful. Stand beside me.
When am I not?
It's better if I tackle this one alone.
You may encounter some obstacles.
That won't be a problem. Our cat friend is definitely here too.
ILL is a first-person horror action game developed by Team Clout, built using Unreal Engine 5, and inspired by works like The Thing and Resident Evil. ILL challenges players to survive encounters with terrifying monsters that can mutate in real time, creating new threats and forcing players to adapt their combat strategies on the fly. Black Myth Wukong is an upcoming action RPG developed by Chinese studio Game Science. The game is based on the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West and follows the adventures of the protagonist known as the Destined One, who possesses the ability to transform into various creatures and use magical weapons. Players will battle against a host of mythical creatures and bosses in a brutal world full of dangers.
It only foments evil. Cleanse the world with blood and grow lotuses in it. That is your destiny.
I, the keeper of the New West, welcome the Destined One.
The Destined One who doesn't even know what he's destined for? Those old rascals, they surely know how to name.
Tell me then, is my kind destined for extermination? You're driven by greed, not destiny.
So this is the face of the Destined One. It will fit me just as well.
Bathed in blood, yet preaching peace. Oh, you mortals, pray enlighten me. What justifies your superiority?
Grand Theft Auto 6 is the highly anticipated next installment in the popular series from Rockstar Games. The new game will once again take place in a fictional version of Vice City, inspired by Miami, as confirmed by trailers and leaks. The game promises to offer players an open world filled with adventures, criminal stories, and dynamic missions. Marvel's Wolverine is an upcoming game from Insomniac Games, the same team behind the successful Marvel's Spider-Man and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales games. The game will focus on the story of Logan, better known as Wolverine, one of the most popular characters in Marvel Comics. The game is expected to be a combat action title with open-world elements, placing a strong emphasis on melee combat and utilizing the hero's unique abilities.